3 stone, iron ingot, stone cutter, and we're good. Exploration, discovery. What do these do? Yes, now we hit it with the wand. Hello everybody, Hamas28 here, and today we're back in the world of Pixelmon Ghosts. Let's get right into it. Now, as we left off last episode, we accomplished quite a lot, and I didn't do too much between episodes. As you could see, I did fill out a bunch of dark oak drawers with our items, just so I could more easily manage, all this junk. It's a lot easier just to right-click this drawer controller and have it automatically go into the drawers, rather than sort out the mess that is those stack of chests. I also built another platform up there on the air layer, and I think that's the dazzle layer under it. It's kind of hard to see. Let me go up there to show you better. Alright, so here we are at the dazzle layer. It's pretty bare bones, just more platforms like the usual. Now I did try experimenting with the water spawns, as you can see here. As you can see, they're a lot deeper compared to the ones I built before, and that does seem to actually make a difference. It seems like the more water source and flowing blocks you have, the better the chances you get of water Pokemon spawning. Now this one I find really funny, because I thought it was bugged, because I saw a bunch of Pikachus in here. Turns out it's actually a drowned Pikachu that can spawn on this layer, and they spawn in really great numbers, so there was just a massive pool of them swimming around over here. Now the spawns are quite slow, but you can see stuff starting to spawn, like these wild Munnas, to match the one that we have, along with the Gothita and some other stuff. So we also get the drops from up here, and then as you can see, ooh, something spawned over here. What are you? What is this guy? Krogunk and a Tadbulb? See, that's what's so interesting about the water spawns. Like, they see this, they're like, yeah, I could spawn here. This is a good spawn. And then if we go up even higher, we do have a platform over here that I built, and I built this one specifically for the Voltorbs. As you can see, there's a block of redstone here, and up on the air layer, you actually can increase the odds of Voltorb spawning with a block of redstone. So I've been trying to stay over here and farm Pokeballs, but they spawn very slow for some reason. Can't really do anything about that. There are lures we can craft later on that should help, but we don't really need too many Pokeballs right now. But regardless, we're just going to continue through the pack and see what we can do next. So, looking at the quest book, the next thing I wanted to get done, if we take a look at, where was it? Starting a smithy, was making the engineer's workbench from, I forget what mod this is, oh, from Immersive Engineering. Now to make this, we're going to need some treated wood, and as you know, treated wood takes creosote, which is why I stored the stuff in here, but this is clearly the wrong chest. But I will need this iron ingot for later. Luckily, iron ingots are also a drop from Voltorbs, I think. No, not Voltorbs. Where did I get it? Was it this Stunfisk? No. One of these Pokemon dropped it. I just forget which one. I think it was a Magnemite. I think that's who dropped it. Because they have pretty good... If I have an aluminum ingot, which I do. Okay, so it was Magnemite. All the way up on the air layer, Magnemites spawn, and we can get some iron ingots that way, which is pretty nice. And here it is. That's what I was looking for, because we need to make these coke bricks. So go ahead and throw these in here, bricks on the side, and some sandstone. And I don't think I did the math right, because that's 24, and to make a 3x3 with a hole in the middle should be 27 or 26. Let me see. And now that I think about it, this one has to have that one here. So we're actually off by 1, along with needing a engineer's hammer, which I believe just takes iron and a bit of string. So let me grab the string from over here. Then I think we'll also need a bit of wood, which I still think I have left in the chests. Alright, just finished smelting up some more bricks, so now we should be able to turn this into the last ones we need to make our coke bricks. And then to make our hammer, we're actually short on iron ingots. We're going to need another one. So let me come out over here, and we still have enough in here for our heater. Let me grab my sandcast real quick. There we go, one sandcast, grab our iron ingot, and now I should be able to just place this, place that, take it out, yada yada, smelt 9 of these iron ingots, and then we should have enough to make one more ingot. Now we are going to need a final one for the workbench itself, but we're going to need the engineer's hammer to actually do anything important. And there we go, 2 ingots, nice. Grab our coke bricks and now fill out this 3x3 and smack it with a hammer. Now if we hit this guy, we get a coke oven. So now we can start producing creosote oil and make our treated wood. Of course, that means we need some wood to treat, so I'm going to go ahead and chop these guys down. We can always replant them later, but for now we're going to need that sweet, sweet, delicious wood. So now we can just come in here and throw this inside, and that should start making us some coal coke. Oh, this makes charcoal, and then can I use this for other things? Can I put it in a furnace? You could put it in a blast furnace for steel, but I don't think we'll need that at this point. But it should work in this furnace as well. So I might as well finish chopping these down and replanting them. I do need a better way to get wood, because especially for all these oak drawers, it was really annoying just planting an oak tree and then bone mealing it all the way up and then chopping it down over and over again to get all the wood for these. There's got to be a better way to do it, but I'm not sure how. There must be some tech mods in here that will allow me to automate a tree farm. I just haven't seen them yet. But now with the treated wood out of the way and essentially solved, it'll just take time to build up the creosote oil. The next thing I've been wanting to work on is getting obsidian so we can build a nether portal. Now getting lava seems to be the difficult part. If we take a look here at lava, we could use a light well to turn it into netherrack apparently. I actually didn't know that. Interesting. Do we have netherrack? You can forage it, but I don't think I've seen any. Which means to get a lava bucket, we have to fight a Magcargo or a Heatran. And Heatran is a much tougher Pokemon, so I think Magcargo is going to definitely be in the cards. Well, after searching through the quest book, it turns out getting lava is actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. What are you? A fortress? How did you spawn here? Anyways, so we're actually going to have to take a hard pivot into, you guessed it, Botania. The one mod we've been putting off so far. Now luckily to start this we just have to observe a podzol block, which is going to take our dark oak. Wait, is it dark oak or spruce? What are these? They're spruce. So we're going to need our spruce saplings, and I'll put this stuff away for now. Put my hammer up here. And then we are going to need some dirt and some bone meal. Okay, so there we go, dirt, bone meal. And we just have to observe some podzol. So let me head downstairs. And that's not the right way. I always forget that I have the ladders over here. But this will be the best spot to make a big tree and get ourselves some podzol. And then we can always break it anyway to get back the dirt. It's really not a big issue for us. Now, I'm not sure if I have to turn this into regular dirt, so I'll do it anyway. And let me quickly build a kind of circular platform for this. And now we just plant our spruce saplings and get some podzol. Okay, it didn't want to work. Let me get some more bone meal. Okay, so the quest book specifies you actually have to have it surrounded by grass blocks, so I guess we'll just turn all of this into podzol, which isn't the greatest, but actually I could probably just go out over here. So let me place some more dirt. I just don't want to cover... Yeah, we're already kind of covering this, so I need to expand this way. Now if we plant this guy right here, let's see if this will make some podzol. And there we go. Nice. I feel like it would have worked downstairs too, but we do get a big tree now, which I do enjoy. Love me some big trees. Boreal seeds and some ferns. Mycelium. The Pokemon Toadskull will spawn only on podzol and mycelium. It rarely carries mycelium, which is another valuable resource for your mushrooms and can spread slowly on dirt. Nice. Fairy Ring. The easiest mushroom to grow without podzol, mycelium, or any other special soil is fairy. You can plant it on any grass, tap it with bone meal, and it will turn into a colony that you can harvest for more. To find it, we must track down Morlul. You'll need to build an underground habitat on the Dazzle Lair, then wait until nightfall. Let's see, Dazzle Lair, Morlul, underground. Oh, here it is. Dazzle, underground, Morlul. Shroomish during the day and Morlul at night. Do I have one of these? Underground, dirt. So this is natural underground Dazzle. Let me check. Okay, yeah, I did not build the underground Dazzle Lair, so that's why I've not seen any Morlul, which means I'm going to have to go massacre some more grubbins to get some dirt and then build that out right here. But then we should be good to go with the next step. Yeah, see, there's the Pikachus. It was so weird seeing them the first time, but now they're, they're just a common occurrence. And they do drop glowstone, which is nice. But that's really all they're good for. It's kind of freaky when you think about it. What are these guys? Hatena? What is a Hatena? Looks really cute though. They shuddered in anticipation. Well, you're getting one shot, buddy. Sorry about that. Oh, cool. They drop ender pearls. Nice. We will need more of those. Very interesting. You are not the fungus Pokemon. You're a Burmy. Why are you spawning here? Let's see. Slash check spawns. Okay, Morlul is a 20% chance. A Burmy is 28.52. That's a little annoying, but hey, it works. You just gotta wait for some Morluls to spawn so we can collect the mushrooms. So I'm just gonna go around and start beating up all these Pokemon for more drops as well. What are you? Oh, it's a Silcoon. It looks really funky. Now, funny enough, it turns out that Jigglypuff actually drops leather, so this makes them a primo target for me to farm, so I can finally make one of those backpacks. An Igglybuff as well, really cute. You know, it's always funny to me how a lot of these Pokemon had their baby forms come out after, because it just seems like, oh, you have a Pokemon, they have an evolution line, but a lot of them didn't, so all of the baby versions came out like way later. Now, is this the guy I want? No, this is a Breloom, and that's a Ralts. Now, you do look like you drop mushrooms though, but you're level 62, and I am not that powerful yet, so I'll leave you alone for now. Oh, so that's interesting. Looks like Ralts also drops Terrasteel Nuggets, which is really cool. That means eventually... Wait, can I melt this? Oh, you can, so we can melt this into molten Terrasteel and remake it into the ingots. Wait, can you? Casting table, you can. Oh, cool. So that means eventually this would be an easy way to make Terrasteel armor. Not sure if that's going to be useful in this pack though. Well, I had to stop recording for a few days, and I gotta say, this was horrible. If we look at the quest book and go to Vertical Pokédex and go to, where was this guy? Over here. I didn't find a single Morlul. I even played when I couldn't record just so I can see if I can find one. None wanted to spawn in the entire time. Why not spawned? Spirit Shroomish spawned, and you know who else spawned? Literally the evolved form, Shiinotic spawned. Luckily, Shiinotic did drop but a single fairy ring mushroom, so at least we can progress into Botania. Man, it was so annoying. I've literally been waiting here, trying to get it to spawn, and it just doesn't want to. Anyways though, now that it's sorted, we can just come over here, plant this guy, and look, he grows into a fair... Okay, I think I did too much. Because what did this say? Plant it on any grass, tap it with bone meal, and it will turn into a colony that can be harvested for 2 fairy mushrooms. Yeah, I think I did too much. I think I was supposed to gather it as a colony, because now we just have the giant one. Can I harvest this for the mushrooms, though? Okay, it looks like if I use the comma, I can harvest the mushrooms. Or actually, it looks like it just might be like a tree, which is a low chance. So actually, let me try it the normal way. Plant this. Ooh, cactus. And then harvest. You get 2. Okay, so that's what you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to place it down, do it 1 time, and then you get 2 out of it. But I think if you grow the big one, you might be able to get more than 2, along with those little shroom lights. It's a little annoying it's so tall, but I do like the look of it, so I'll leave it alone for now. But we do need to get 16 of these, from what I remember. And there we go. Mushroom collection done. And get some fairy lights. And adds more mushroom soul shrooms. While messing around with mushrooms, we might as well collect them all. Collect them all, you say? Because we did collect other mushrooms, like you can see here. This Shulkran fungus, big mushroom, soul shroom, some brown mushrooms, mostly from the other mushroom Pokemon that kept spawning. And then we just have to take this stuff, turn this into white dye, then mix this with that to make a shimmering mushroom, and quest completed. Gives us some wheat and pollen puff. Can't really use that, not really. But that should take us down to the Petal Apothecary, and we can make one using cobblestone that we don't have, the shimmering mushroom, and slabs. And now we gotta harvest some more mushrooms to get this metamorphic fungal cobblestone. Luckily, Breloom and Shroomish both drop it, so I just gotta defeat both of these guys. This guy might be a little bit tough though. Well, that was annoying. I really dislike Breloons and Shroomish because they don't drop it with a 100% chance. But now we can take this metamorphic fungal cobblestone and combine it to make our fungal petal apothecary. Quest completed. And you all know how much I love Botania. Such a fun mod that makes everything so annoying to do. Now, I'm not disparaging Botania, I just don't like fiddling around with redstone. Because to automate most things in Botania, you just have to use redstone and like repeaters and stuff, which when you're playing so many tech mod packs, you don't want to fiddle around with redstone. Anyways, so back into Druidism. We get more fungal stone, thank you, and a piece of cobblestone, and now we can make the most important item in Botania, the pure daisy. We can make it with 4 shimmering white mushrooms instead of 4 white petals. You'll also need an oxide daisy, which can be acquired from a white flabebe. Ah, here we go. Flabebe, they are an air basic Pokemon. So they spawn outside and there must be a direct line of sight to the sky. Now I do actually know where this can spawn. Now I've enabled cheats just to double check. If we do check spawns, we should see Flabebe up here. Huh, not actually seeing it. Because see, there's Natu and Oricorio. And what layer is this? Yeah, air basic. There's Natu. There's a Sensu Oricorio. Is that different from Oricorio? Honkrozatu, Floette. Yeah, so they should spawn up here. Oh, they spawn on naturally occurring blocks like dirt, grass, gravel, stone, and sandstone. Gotcha. This is an artificial block. So if you come over here and double check it, you can see when you're right next to it, it's Voltorb, Natu, Oricorio. So we're going to need to expand out this way with a big dirt platform. And it says they need line of sight to the sky, but I don't have enough sand to make like a glass dome to capture all the flying Pokemon. But is that the only way to get an Oxeye Daisy? Let's take a look. Oxeye Daisy. Pokemon drop, Flabebe. You can also forage it. Can I get it from the mire? You cannot. Okay, so the only way we can get this is from Flabebe, Voltorb, and Flabebe only wants to spawn if we get some grass up here. And look, there we go. See, the Natu spawns up here. There's a couple of Voltorbs I'm going to harvest for Pokeballs real quick, but then I'm going to have to go commit another genocide. Oh, I haven't beaten you yet. Let me get this guy real quick, because we're going to have to harvest a lot more dirt to build another platform. And defeat the Sensu Oricorio. Quest completed, gets you some more flowers, and hopefully I can get some Pokeballs off of these guys. Alright, dirt's collected. We also got a single diamond that we got from this guy over here. Which one was it? This guy. Colossal. Pretty good chances, 30%. I think it was the first one I saw, so that's pretty nice. It also completed a quest for us in the metals and gems, right over here. Diamond is very rare from Purple Sableye. You can also find it from other Pokemon as well. Now, funnily enough, I was reading the patch notes, and they mentioned something about Ralts not giving Terra Steel, at least not until later on. What is that? Am I above something right here? Oh, that's fine. That's just the walkway, so I can build above it. I don't want to cover the other thing down there. That would be awkward. So I might... It should be fine. It should be fine. We just need to build a little space over here so we can actually get our Flabebes. Alright, it seems to be working. A Comfy just spawned. What are you? You're like a little keyring, like the other Pokemon. Where's the head on you? Where's your Oh, there he is. How cute. What do you drop? Give me your items. Probably gonna drop flowers if I had to guess. And I was right. Bunch of flowers. Cool. Now, that doesn't actually help with Flabebe's spawns. From what I've seen, there's no way to increase Flabebe from spawning. You can only increase the evolutions using the Oxide Daisies and the other flower that Flabebe drops. But at least we can see that it's working, and we just need to get a couple Oxide Daisies for this to work, and then we can move on. Alright, I've given up. It's not working. I expanded the platform even more. The spawns are there. It says Flabebe. Everything but a Flabebe is spawning. I literally defeated... Where is it? I was looking at this. I literally defeated 2 Florgesses, but there's no Flabebe, which means I can't get an Oxtail Daisy. There has to be a better way to do this, to get it to show up, and I think the only way to do so is with the lures, which will take 2 sapphires. Now we can get sapphires, as you can see I have one, because I realized these drop from Dratini, which we get on the soil. Are you Flabebe? No, you're Comfy. Where is Flabebe? I don't get it. I don't get why it's not spawning. I literally got a bunch of Pokeballs because of how many Voltorbs have spawned over here, but there's no Flabebes. So I'm gonna try the lure method. If I defeat another Dratini, I should get enough sapphires to make a silver lure casing, which we can then use to make a lure to hopefully get it. Oh wait, but these take berries. And I don't think... Well, actually, we do have a good amount of berries. I might have enough. What type of Pokemon is Flabebe, though? And I'll just have to try it. Luckily, Dratini just spawn in this little area right here, next to our Tynamos, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get one. And then to make this silver lure, as you can see, you just need 2 sapphires, iron bars, and a rope, and you can actually make iron bars using iron nuggets. Finally, my prayers have been answered. A Flabebe. Now give me the Oxeye Daisy. That's all I want. That's all I need. And that's an orange daisy. Okay, there's one more. There's one more. Come on. Oxeye Daisy, please. You're supposed to be a 100% drop. And did it drop? No. Why are we getting orange daisies? You're supposed to give me an oxtail daisy. I can't believe this. The reason we got orange daisies is because these were orange Flabebes. Flabebe comes in different colors. Why are fortresses spawning up here? Fortress isn't supposed to spawn up here. I don't get it. Why are you spawning up here, Fortress? You're a downstairs Pokemon, not an upstairs Pokemon. Oh, another Flabebe. Please. Come on. Wait, he's orange. Come on. Why are you orange? Can I turn these? You can turn them into orange dye, but without an alchemy catalyst and a monopool, I can't make them white. Why are they spawning orange? Finally, an Oxeye Daisy. Now we can move on. Alright, so we need 4 of these mushrooms. We're going to combine it with our white dye to make our magic mushrooms. And wait a minute, this is Botania. Can't I just plant this to get more? I forgot if that's a thing. That's not doing anything. I thought that's how you do it. You can pound it back into white dye. Huh, I could have swore. Yeah, because I know the regular flowers let you do that. I guess the mushrooms don't let you do that. Probably as a way to balance it. Anyways, so to make the pure daisy, we just have to combine this in our petal apothecary, and that should take some water from what I remember. So, water goes in, Oxeye Daisy doesn't? Or do I just throw it in? Oh, there we go, you toss it. Oxeye Daisy. Oh, and then we need a seed. Okay, let me steal a seed from our wheat over here. Thank you for your glorious sacrifice, and make the pure daisy. And done. What color do you want to be? We get a bone and a normal berry, and then that opens up living wood, which, as you remember, is pretty easy to make living wood. You just take a log and put it next to the pure daisy, and you do the same with stone. I wonder, does this work on any stone? Any stone tagged as forge stone. Awesome. Now we will need a little bit of dirt, which is really easy. Let me snag one and we'll place it over here, and we can start working on some Botania. Ooh, is that a shiny Oddish? It's a legendary Oddish. What level are you? Usually the legendaries give you better rewards. Level 84. Goodbye, sir. Alright, I know when I've crossed my bounds I should not have crossed. Alright, we got ourselves 2 coarse dirt. So let's go ahead and place it over here, and then I got some logs, and along with that we got some rocky stone, which should also turn into the item we need. So if we place you here, place that there, then place these logs, you can see they start to transform, and then the rocky stone should do the same. As you can see there by the particles, those are all going to change, and let us finish the quest. And there we go, it's transformed. We have our living wood and our living rock. Let's go ahead and harvest these to finish off. Oh, where'd you go? There you are. To finish off our quest. New recipes unlocked. And this would actually be a good challenge, because I think, does immersive engineering, I know they should have all the machines at the end here. Yeah, fluid tank, item silo, excavator. I don't think they have a tree farm, right? Yeah, they don't really have a tree farm. They do have a sawmill that you can use to get more wood out of your wood, but they don't have a tree farm. But I think we can build one using Botania. So we get the living wood tool handle, white shard, and a black shard, and we unlock some more stuff. The Hydroangeas plan. To create the Hydroangeas, you first need to find its less magical cousin, the Hydrangea flower. Okay, that's so funny. That's hilarious. I already have this. I already have this flower. You know why? Because a Flabebe grows up into the one that drops a Hydrangea. Let me just sleep through the night and show you upstairs that I already planted it. So we can just get infinitely many more. So as you can see, we already have 2 blue hydrangeas along with an azalea and this foxglove. And these ones are super easy to get more of because you just right click it with bone meal and you get another one, which makes it extremely easy to do. Now, what did it say we needed it for? Oh, to make a Hydroangea. Ah, interesting. I've never actually used the Hydroangeas before. They consume water to make mana, but they will keep running even without water and they'll wither away. So that's good to know. But you can see, this is what we unlock with Botania. The Endoflame is good for making the tree farm. The Rosa Arcana, not sure what that's good for. I know it's really good for generating mana from XP, but I've never actually done it before. And then it does lead us to the Orchid, which I guess is the main thing, because the Orchid can generate all our ores. Now that does mean that the most difficult part is going to be waiting for these Flabebe... Drifloom, no! Is waiting for these Flabebes to spawn, just so I can get their flowers. Because we... Where is your hitbox? Why do I keep missing? There we go. Because I already defeated one of those Flabebes that gave me... Which color? Which color was it? The cornflower. Yeah, there it is. I already have the cornflower one. But I defeated it too early, so now I have to defeat it again just to progress through the quest line. Then it does want us to defeat a Floette. So we can take its blue flower and then move through. Then to make shimmering mushrooms, we'll need the pigments. You'll want to apply them to mushrooms that already have strong thingamabobs. Now I gotta say, unlocking Botania was pretty difficult, but now it seems like just to progress is going to take a lot more effort as well. But it should pay off. Botania is a very strong mod, which gives us a lot of renewable resources, like the orchid. We just gotta get there. But I think we've made good progress. As you can see, we now need to find these other Pokemon here. Why is this here? A Botania Pro... Oh, because we also need to get brown. But what is this? Reeds? Where do we get reeds from? Cocoa beans. Cocoa beans do drop from these guys, which is interesting because I think it's hinting that it wants us to go into starting a farm. Okay, so the quest book is saying that we can actually get cocoa by luring out a Sinistea that is filled with hot cocoa instead of tea. Interesting. So if I type in cocoa, does Sinistea come up? Cocoa beans, Pokemon drops. Oh, there we go. Phony Sinistea, Christmas. Cocoa beans, sugar, and white glazed terracotta. So we'll need a specially designed habitat just for the phony Sinistea. which according to the quest book is the freezing cold level of the void, and try to lure the spirit out with everything reminiscent of Christmas. Now it said freezing cold, which probably means the next layer up, the ice layer. Alright, I really gotta wonder, how did a Torchic spawn up here? Let me take a look at the vertical Pokédex real quick. We go to our lair, and oh, they actually do spawn up here. Nice! We do have a couple Pokeballs. Let's see if we can capture this guy. He's only level 5, which means Ninjask, this is what you've been waiting for your whole life. Using False Swipe, we can get him all the way down to 1 health point left, and then we can capture our first starter Pokemon. I wonder if this will count for the quest though. Wrong button. This one, Pokeballs. Pokeball. Torchic broke free. How did you break free? You're at 1 health. Come on, Torchic. Just get in the Pokeball. I only have 2 of these left. Torchic, please. This is my final Pokeball. I can't believe it. You're level 5. You're level 5, Torchic. Why didn't you just get in the ball? Because now I just have to get rid of you. Ah, that's so sad. Well, goodbye, Torchic. I knew thee well. And quest completed. First starter defeated. I didn't want to defeat it. I wanted to keep him. I wanted him to join the team. Why are there so many fletchlings over here? Ah, I see. Good to know. We can place 2 sources of water next to the Hydroangea and they'll never be able to deplete it. That's really useful. That means we won't actually run out of water. Anyways, what the quest book was saying was you needed to defeat Flabebe's final form, the Florges, to get these 3 big flowers, but since I already have those flowers, I could just collect these like so. Okay, I got scared that it didn't break. There we go. To complete those 3, as you can see there, because these will supply the dyes needed to make the Hydroangea. Now, let me go ahead and make a couple backups of these. So I'll place the backups over here. And we'll get rid of these guys, because we don't need them. Do need this. What is that? Oh, it's just a fletchling from the side. And grab 2 of these. And 2 of these. Now we can convert these into their dyes. Cyan, blue, and light blue. Wait, why did I get more out of these ones? That's weird. Okay, let me do a bit more Hydrangea. Interesting, Hydrangea only gives you 1. But now using these dyes, we're going to have to dye some mushrooms. Luckily we can use our brown mushrooms we got from the other Pokemon. I just have to find where I put them. They're always in the last chest you look, brown mushrooms. Now how do I grow more of these? That's a good question. Oh, interesting. So can I believe what I can do is just come over here, take a mushroom, and take our comma. I might be able to just place... Huh? Where did this guy come from? Just place you here, right-click it. Oh wait, if I do this, it grows into a big tree. Okay, never mind. How do I get that then? Okay, so to grow the brown mushrooms into the colony, we're actually going to have to complete this quest to make organic compost to make rich soil that we can then use to plant our mushrooms. It's funny, I've never actually played too much with Farmer's Delight, so I wasn't aware this was a thing you can do. But that should save us a lot of time. And as you can see, it's a very easy craft, only using 1 dirt, 2 rotten flesh, 2 straw, and some bone meal. See, I never have any trouble getting dirt. The Grubbins are just waiting for me. But every other Pokemon wants to turn it into a whole snafu when they could just spawn as easy as the bug types. I don't get it. Alright, so now we can just put this together and make our organic compost. Luckily getting straw is really easy because we can just cut tall grass with a knife. And it looks like that. Oh, this is coarse dirt. Let me break this first using our comma to turn it into regular dirt. Dirt, bone meal, straw, and then rotten flesh. And I did it wrong. Okay, what does it look like? Dirt, flesh, straw, bone meal. Take out these straw, put the bone meal, there we go. Organic compost. Quest completed. Now we just have to wait for it to turn into rich soil. The rich soil will be trample resistant and grows crops faster than regular dirt. It is a little expensive to make, but hey, it's pretty strong. And then as you can see, oh, you can speed it up by placing mushrooms. Good to know. How long does this take? It doesn't say, but I think you just have to place it down like that. Advanced composting. And you just have to wait. So once this turns into our compost, I can, well, not compost, once it turns into our rich soil, I can plant our brown mushrooms on it and we can start getting some more mushrooms. Alright, so now we can just grow more mushrooms. So if we take this brown mushroom colony, use a knife, you get more mushrooms. And then we can go downstairs, and this is where I put the mushroom farm because it's very dark. Now, it's funny, the quest book actually mentioned this up here on how to build the mushroom farm using the rich soil. And as you can see, it tells you they must be irrigated with water for this to work. Now, I did notice these mushrooms were growing without the irrigation, so I'm not actually sure how true that is, but I do think it grows a lot faster. Now, I did build this one over here because they do have a separate one for the crimson fungi, which will take nether rich soul soil in order to plant, and then we can start growing those mushrooms. Now, you can use the wooden shears to harvest these, or you can use the comma just to grab one like so, as you can see. It's really cool, so you can shear them for mushrooms. But to complete the quest, you did have to use a full brown mushroom colony. But now that that's done, to finish off this quest, I do have to beat a blue Florgus at some point, but we can still move on and dye these mushrooms. So first we need to make a blue shimmering mushroom, which should take blue dye. Alright, I'm mistaken. It looks like to make the blue shimmering mushroom, you have to use a blue glow shroom, which comes from Morlul, which we still haven't seen. I've only seen the evolved one. And if that's the only way I can get this, we're going to be stuck for a little while. Luckily, the Scion one does let you use the brown mushrooms, I think. And no, it doesn't. It does take soul shrooms, which we do have. Well, this is annoying. Why did I go through the effort of making these mushrooms if we can't use them for this? Oh, okay, so the mushrooms can be used for some of the other ones. So we can use them for the orange, light gray, gray. And that seems to be it. Gotcha. You know, the quest book did mention that you need pigments that are already close to the color of the mushroom. It's just a little annoying that I don't have those mushrooms yet. I wonder if I can grow them. I might be able to. I think we do have... I'm pretty sure we have the Imparis or the Soul Shroom. Let me check. Yep, there it is. 4 Soul Shrooms. Let me see if I can plant these on this Soul Soil. I mean, the regular rich soil. If not, if I have to do it on the Soul Soil, I'll do it as well. Let me see. Do you grow on here? You can bone meal it, so it seems like it does grow. Let me jump into creative and see how I can make more of these. If it grows into a big mushroom, then that does work technically. Alright, so I was able to confirm it in my creative world. These are a renewable resource. You just can't grow them in this little space. You need a lot more room. So if we go upstairs and use this area over here, like this big mushroom, I can just plant this guy like right here, and if I bone meal him, let me move this, it should work. Actually, that might be too close. Okay, I'll need more bone meal, but I think this guy is a little too close to this one. The issue, though, is blue glow shroom. Now, they only drop from Morlul, and I have yet to see a single one. And I'm not sure if there's any other way to get this, which is going to be really annoying. But blue glow shrooms also grow on podzol, which means once I get one, we're set. Which means I'm just going to have to hang out over there and just wait for them to spawn. Now, that is going to be a little annoying, but as soon as we get one mushroom, we're set. We can just grow infinitely more. I've done it. My prayers have been answered. The Morlul is finally here. See, I've seen Shinotic. It's this guy I've been waiting my whole life for. Now, give me... Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. It's like a 10% chance for this mushroom. Man, this is going to be annoying. What are even you? You're like a little gremlin. Why are there so many little gremlin Pokemon? Welp. That was one Morlul. And where there's one, there's more. So I just gotta keep waiting. And waiting. And waiting. Until we get the mushroom to drop. Alright. Well, it took defeating 11 mortals, but we did manage to get a single blue glow shroom and a single purple glow shroom, which means I never... Oh, there's one more. Okay, I'll fight you since I'm still here. But that means I never have to fight these guys again, which is really nice. We just need to start growing the mushrooms. Shroomish, how did you spawn here? You're supposed to only spawn during the day. Anyways, that was really annoying. It reminds me of when I play Terraria, and I spend like hours trying to get something that's like a 1 in 1,000. But at least in Terraria, you could just go to one area and set up a mob farm that will greatly increase the odds of it happening. Because instead of fighting a single guy every couple minutes, you're fighting like 50 of them every like 30 seconds. But at least it's done. Now, I will have to get a bunch of bone meal so we can actually grow these mushrooms again, but then we should be able to harvest it. So I'm going to have to move that tree and then plant it on the podzol, because I believe if you come over here and try to plant this, you could see it won't plant. You have to put it on podzol. But we're going to make some ceramic shears and harvest these mushrooms, chop down that tree, and get it going. Alright, so now if we grow this mushroom to the max size and take our ceramic shears, we should be able to more than triple the number of mushrooms we have. Yeah, see, not even the whole mushroom, and we already tripled our investment, which is really good. So now, if we go back into the quest, I also found one of these chipped pots when I was getting more bones. Go back to Druidism. That's done. Now we can make these mushrooms using Soul Shroom, and which one is that? We do have these. But combine that here and there. So we just need to make a cyan and a blue. So you take this one, mix it with cyan to make the cyan shimmering, and take this one, mix it with blue to make blue shimmering. And now we can combine these in the Petal Apothecary to make our Hydroangea using one blue Hydrangea, 2 of these blue shimmering mushrooms, and 2 of these cyan shimmering mushrooms. So let me just go ahead and make one more of these. We're going to need this cyan. And now we can mix it all together. Throw in our water, throw in our blue Hydrangea, 2 blue shimmering mushrooms, 2 cyan shimmering mushrooms, our wheat seed, and we get Hydroangea. Advancement made, quest completed. I wonder where that completed it though. Where did that go? Oh, over here. Turns out the reason Hydroangeas were also in the bug fixes book was because I guess the creator of Botania was getting a lot of complaints by people that a lot of people on their servers, instead of making much more efficient mana farms, were just spamming Hydrangeas, and that was causing a lot of lag. Luckily, in this pack, I'm by myself, so I'm gonna be able to severely limit just how big our passive farms are, which means it shouldn't be a problem. Now there's a couple housekeeping items I'm gonna have to finish between episodes. Fighting that blue, what was that Pokemon? I already forget its name. The blue Florges, that's it, the Florges. We need to defeat the Florges so I can actually track the progress, but after that's taken care of, I'm also gonna harvest a bunch of stone from these stone journers from downstairs because they're very useful for dropping a lot of stone, which we'll be able to use to make our living rock, which will be important for a lot of the infrastructure in Botania along with the living wood. Of course, the main difficulty with any tech pack is generating the power, but now that we have a Hydroangea and we can make some more, that should get us through the early game until we can get some better options. As I was looking through stuff, a lot of the flower petals we're used to are actually gated behind later crafts, likely as a balancing thing, so we can't do those yet, but the Hydroangea should get us there, mostly because of a couple of tips and tricks that they've added specifically to this pack to make these guys a little bit better. But as always, I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.